opening up the dark squared bishop and seizing the center. The knight puts pressure on black's pawn and establishes control of the center. A solid developing move that defends the pawn and attacks the center. Quick development, threatening the knight, and a chance to castle early. This forces the bishop to decide exchange or retreat. White safely retreats the bishop while keeping pressure on the knight. Black attacks the undefended white pawn and develops the knight at the same time. Castling gets the king out of the center and prepares to develop the kingside rook. This develops the dark squared bishop and prepares to castle. White centralizes the rook and protects the pawn. This gains space on the queenside and forces the bishop to retreat. This is forced, but the bishop is well placed because it attacks a vulnerable pawn. This defends the center pawn and allows the light-squared bishop to develop. White prepares a central pawn break and clears a square for the light-squared bishop. Castling gets the king out of the center and activates the rook. This prevents black from developing the light-squared bishop to pin the white knight. Bishop b7 puts the bishop on the long diagonal in a move called a fianchetto. d4 gains space in the center, allows the dark-squared bishop to develop and attacks the e5 pawn. Rook e8 puts the rook on a central file and vacates the f8 square for the bishop, developing the knight and increasing influence in the center. Textbook play so far. This is a book move, meaning this creates luft for the king, providing it an escape square. Solid. Continuing with standard opening theory. After all captures, this is an equal trade. A good pawn recapture that supports long-term central control. Textbook play so far. This is a book move, meaning it follows established opening theory, played by top players for years. This strikes at the center with a pawn, trying to gain space. This creates a pawn chain, linked pawns that form a strong structure. Solid. Continuing with standard opening theory. This move gets the rooks ready to fight together on one file. Textbook play so far. This maintains the balance in material with a good trade. A clear recapture. This is a fair move. This forces the opponent to create a protected passed pawn for the opponent. A straightforward recapture. Only one good move here, and you spotted it. This calmly removes the knight from an immediate threat. Great find. This was the only move that works. This forces the opponent to isolate a pawn. A clear recapture. White develops the bishop and supports the center. This defends a pawn that was under attack and had no defenders. This threatens to win material by luring the king away from defending an important square. This stops the opponent from being able to win material by luring the king away from defending an important square. This is an equal trade. Recapturing with the pawn here keeps the center healthy and stable. With this move, the pawn comes under sudden pressure. This moves the queen to safety. After precise calculation, white captures the well-deserved piece. The best option was to increase a bishop's scope by moving it to a better square. The rook is now on an open file, which helps control squares across the board. This kicks a knight. This moves the knight to safety. That pawn was free for the taking. This threatens to win a pawn through a fork. The rook is on a strong square where it has activity. White will be winning material with that fork. The best option was to attack the knight with a pawn. This allows the opponent to take an open file with a rook. This takes an open file, a common method for activating a rook. This defends a pawn that was under attack and had no defenders. This threatens to win a rook through a fork. This blocks an attack on a pawn. After all captures, this is an equal trade. This maintains the balance in material with a good trade. This is an equal trade. After all captures, this is an equal trade. A clear recapture. Only one good move here, and you spotted it. This misses a much better move. A strong choice. With this move, black fights back against central space. Great find. This was the only move that works. This move steps the pawn out of danger and keeps material balance. An active king is critical in the endgame, and getting it, this defends a pawn that was under attack and had no defenders. Only one good move here, and you spotted it. A strong fork hits two targets at the same time. This calmly removes the bishop from an immediate threat. Great find. This was the only move that works. This is the strongest option. The threat on the pawn becomes more serious with this move. That's not a mistake, but it's not the best move either. Taking that pawn will win material after the follow-up trades are made. Placing a king directly in front of the pawn and stopping its advance. Right on target. This allows the opponent to win material by luring the king away from defending an important square. This misses an opportunity to win material by luring the king away from defending an important square. Very strong play. A solid choice. This moves the bishop to a better location, allowing it to control more squares. One of the best moves. This moves the bishop to a more active square, making it gain scope. This threatens to win a bishop through a fork.